It's your girl Shay here, and I'm back with another video for you guys. And as you can tell by the title of this video, I'm going to be counting down not really counting down, but basically listing my top 5 favorite Marvel movies. Now, I did not include any movies that are outside of the Marvel Cinematic Universe or the MCU, and that's only because while I do enjoy so many of those movies, and I've actually rewatched a lot of those and they are also my favorites, I decided to split those two up. So I probably plan to do another listing Marvel movies that are outside the MCU that are also my favorites. So of course, hit the thumbs up button and subscribe or comment down below to let me know whether or not you guys want me to do a part 2 to this video. Now, when it came to making this list, I did have a little bit of criteria for the movies that I chose. And I had to choose movies that were rewatchable or movies that I have rewatched outside of theaters. And that is because a few of these movies I've actually seen multiple times in theaters, and I couldn't count that as meaning that it was one of my favorites. I needed to count it as one of my favorites if it's a movie that I have thoroughly just put on just either in the background anytime I'm doing something, or a movie that I just thoroughly just enjoy watching and don't mind when other people pick it when we're trying to think of a movie to watch. So let's get to this list. And once again, this list is not in any particular order because it was hard enough coming up with 5, so trying to put them in order from 5 to 1 was just craziness for me. So these are in no particular order. And also, yes, there may be spoilers when I talk about some of these movies, so if you haven't seen them and plan to see them, probably don't watch this video just in case. But if you don't mind because you've already seen the movies, or you don't mind because you don't plan on watching any of these movies, or you're trying to think of whether or not you should start watching the movies in the MCU, then yeah, keep watching. So the first movie that I decided to choose was number 1, Thor Ragnarok. Now, Thor Ragnarok is a hilarious movie, and I actually really love a lot of the humor that Chris Hemsworth, who plays Thor, has shown, and also, of course, Loki, who is of course played by Tom Hiddleston. Plus, you have a lot of the new characters introduced, such as Valkyrie, and also, of course, you also have Hela, who was the villain during the entire movie, and you also have Hulk reintroduced in this movie, and you pretty much find out what happened after Age of Ultron, where he took the Quinjet and just kind of flew off, and then you realize actually where he landed. Now, I know a lot of us didn't really enjoy Thor number 2. I know I was actually one of them. I thought the movie was way too serious and needed a lot more comedic aspect. So number 3 was a great change from that. I also love learning more about what went on behind the scenes, such as how certain lines got into the movie, like the line where Thor says he's a friend from work while he's pretty much battling the Hulk. It's pretty much because a kid was on set and said he thought it would be funny for Thor to say that because they were friends from work, meaning the Avengers. So that's why I really enjoy Thor Ragnarok. So it's a movie I literally put on in the background or while I'm working, and I just love hearing all the lines in there. And I also enjoy seeing the character development kind of Loki, because of course Loki kind of started out as a villain, but kind of throughout the Thor series and also of course with Avengers, he kind of got a little bit better and became a lot more of a comedic character, and you see his attitude kind of change towards Thor and also, of course, towards Asgard. Number 2, Captain America and the Winter Soldier. Now, I do love the first Captain America, but the second Captain America just was so much more interesting to me. And I think it's the aspect of this movie being more of a spy movie compared to the first movie, which is, of course, his origin story. And with the second movie, of course, you have the not really introduction, but you have the characters of Natasha Romanoff, whom, of course, is played by Scarlett Johansson, and you have the introduction of Sam Wilson, whom, of course, is played by Anthony Mackie. And also you are once again reintroduced to the Winter Soldier, or Bucky Barnes, and he of course is played by Sebastian Stan. And I enjoy this movie because I love the spy aspect of this movie. I also enjoy a lot of the times seeing more of Natasha Romanoff and seeing her interact with Steve character outside of the Avengers. And I also enjoyed seeing Sam Wilson. He's such a funny character and he's very amusing to watch. And of course, this movie just kind of had me from beginning to end, including when you see the introduction or the reintroduction of Bucky Barnes and the surprise on Steve's face. I love watching all the fight scenes and the gunfights that happen. I also enjoyed seeing Nick Fury and the whole twist with him. I just overall enjoy this movie. And of course, this movie is also very comedic. There's a lot of funny one-liners in this movie, and there's a lot of funny aspects in this movie, including when it comes to Sam Wilson and some of the lines that he says. overall, it's definitely a movie that I continue to watch over and over again. Number 3, Captain America Civil War. So of course on this list, I of course had to include Captain America Civil War. This is because you have everyone in this movie. And of course it has the introduction of Spider-Man into the MCU, which of course you guys know is a product of Sony's. So a lot of people didn't think Spider-Man would ever make it into the MCU. But seeing Captain America Civil War and seeing him introduced, everyone went crazy. But also what I love about this movie is that you also have the introduction of Black Panther, and of course you see more of Bucky, and you see him kind of trying to navigate his way during this world before he is of course framed for a crime that he didn't end up committing. And you also learn more about his backstory and how it kind of connects to Tony's story involving his parents. Also, of course, you see all these characters pitted against each other. You have Tony Stark's side and you have Captain America's side, and you see both these characters have a lot of their teammates and they're basically going against each other. But of course there's a bigger boss involved in all of this that kind of caused these problems in the first place. You also see more of Scarlet Witch, you see more of Vision, and this movie was kind of just crazy to see some characters that you love so much going against each other, and you kind of hoping for the best, or pretty much hoping that they will become friends at the end, which doesn't of course happen. But it also had a great ending where it ended with, you know, Tony and Captain America no longer being friends again and them kind of going their separate ways. But overall, once again, great movie. Number 4, that is Avengers Age of Ultron. Now, I know a lot of people enjoy the first Avengers more than the second Avengers, but I enjoyed the second one a lot more. And the reason why is because at this point, the team is basically kind of put together at this point. And I enjoyed the comedic gags and aspects and little one-liners throughout this entire movie. So originally, before, I enjoyed Avengers Age of Ultron at first, and I still do. But it wasn't until I watched a YouTube video where basically it just had all the comedic parts of Avengers Age of Ultron in it that made me want to go back and continue to watch this movie over and over and over again. Plus, there were little lines in that movie that were funny that I never actually caught. For example, when Tony says, "Please let this be a secret door, please let this be a secret door," and then when it opens, he goes, "Yay!" One of my favorite funniest lines ever, because you see this guy just go yay. Like, I just thought it was really funny, and that's why I pretty much have started to enjoy Age of Ultron a lot more. And I love the fact that the characters are really friends at this point. You see them communicating with each other a lot more compared to in Avengers, obviously, because now they're more friends. And also this is where you see Cap kind of, you know, move Thor's hammer when he has everyone trying to pick it up and see if they're worthy, and he's the only one that's able to move it, and Thor of course catches it. So seeing his facial expression change was great. Of course it alluded to other movies for Avengers Endgame, but overall that is why I mostly enjoy Avengers Age of Ultron, and of course learning more about the background instances of Ultron as well. 5th and final movie, and that is Avengers Infinity War. I had to go with that movie. Now, I know Avengers Endgame is like a cinematic feat that no other franchise has ever tried to do. But Avengers Infinity War to me just had a lot more excitement compared to Endgame. This doesn't mean I don't rewatch Endgame, but it's the fact that I enjoy Infinity War a lot more. And that's because you see the introduction of so many characters. Well, not really introduction, but reintroduction with people entering the scene. For example, when Wanda and Vision are in trouble, you even see Captain America, Sam Wilson, and also, of course, Natasha Romanoff show up to help them. And I remember being in theaters and watching this scene and having people start clapping and being so happy that he was back. And then, of course, you see Thor with the Guardians of the Galaxy. Also really cool. And, of course, you also see Tony Stark, Doctor Strange, and Spider-Man, along with also the Guardians of the Galaxy later on. I just love watching Avengers Infinity War. And also because of the ending of Infinity War not being like, oh, the heroes win, that's what also made it great as well. Because you're left on this cliffhanger. And I remember watching this movie in theaters and having the theater go dead silent because everyone was like, well, what happens next? Like, what's going to happen? And that's also why I enjoyed watching Avengers Infinity War. So that for me is the top 5 Marvel movies that I enjoy. These are once again only the ones within the MCU, so I didn't include movies like X-Men or Deadpool, but those probably will be included on the second list. if you guys want it. Also, of course, this is purely my opinion. So I know that some of you guys may not agree with some of the movies I have on my list, which is perfectly fine, but please don't bash me in the comments because you feel like Avengers was better than Avengers Age of Ultron, or you feel like Black Panther was better than Captain America Winter Soldier. Do not bash me about it. These are just movies that I realize that I rewatch a lot of the time because I just really enjoy watching them, or I enjoy having them on the background. But yes, there are some of these movies that I didn't put on this list that I actually have seen multiple times. For example, Black Panther, I saw 4 times in theaters, and Avengers Endgame, I saw 3. So this doesn't mean I don't enjoy those movies. I just realized that when I'm at home, I don't really put these movies on as much as I thought I would. The other ones, definitely a lot more so. So once again, what movies would be on your list for Marvel movies? Comment them down below, or comment below just one of which one's your favorite that you know you tend to rewatch a lot. So yeah. Also, of course, feel free to follow me on social media. I have links to all my social media accounts in the description box below, my Instagram, my Twitter, and my blog as well. Also, of course, give this video a thumbs up and please subscribe if you haven't already. And of course, once again, let me know if you want a part 2 of this, of other movies that I enjoy that aren't a part of the MCU, but are still a part of Marvel. Yeah, let me know what you think. But alright, you guys, I will see you guys in another video on Monday. I hope you guys enjoy this one. Like I always tell you guys, stay positive, stay nerdy, and of course, you guys stay healthy. Alright, you guys, bye.